lucky number 3. Fun fact of the day, in my amateur soccer days, I was number 3.
Really?
I sure was.
You were ahead of the curve then, right?
There you go.
I was. Okay, so before we get to our next segment, favorite number 3 of all time, go.
Babe Ruth.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw all those. I'm a Bryce Harper fan.
Ooh.
Just the back leg
yeah.
going deep like nothing.
I'm kind of Griffey in Cincinnati, number 3. I'm into that.
Actually, I saw. I didn't even know he wore number 3.
I know.
It was 24 for a while. There was
Right.
something about that 3.
Yeah.
That wasn't his whole time.
See, I think he saw that I was wearing 3 in my amateur
He's
soccer
like, yeah, I'm following Taylor.
Right? I agree.
Okay, so let's talk about 3. We're 3 days away from opening day. It's still quote-unquote talking season, right, where we predict the teams that are going to do well this season. 3 divisions in each league. Let's start off with you, Mike. Let's go to the American League. Who are your 3 division winners?
Well, we're going to start in the American League West, and I'm going with the Houston Astros. I know I'm going out on a limb here, but when I look at guys, Framber Valdez, then you look at that offense, and you're going Bregman, Altuve, Tucker, Yordan Alvarez. I'm sorry, until you dethrone the king, they're the beasts of the West. They're not the beasts of the East, yeah. They're in the West. But that's my team because they plug the holes. They lose Correa, they lose Springer, and they don't skip a beat. So Astros are my guys in the West. We're moving to the Central, Dan. This one's a little bit more wide open, but I'm going with the Minnesota Twins for 2 reasons. I mentioned Pablo Lopez before, how much I like him and what I think he is as an ace, but it's these 2 guys in the background, Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton. I need to see a healthy 150 games out of each of them. They're MVP type talents, you know. The calibers there's nothing on the field they can't do. I think when Byron Buxton is in center field, he's one of the top 5 most electric players and most talented players in the league. And I just want to see, as a baseball fan, and honestly, for the investment that the Twins management made in those 2 guys, I want to see it pay off because I think they're extraordinary talents. Let's go to the beasts of the East now. Yes, this is the Baltimore Orioles for me. I mean, they're young, they're hungry. I know I'm going against my Red Sox and then the Yankees signed guys, but the Orioles, I mean, you traded for Corbin Burns. You have the reigning Rookie of the Year in Gunnar Henderson. You have guys like Adley Rutschman, and I think their middle of the lineup with Ryan Mountcastle and Anthony Santander is so underrated. I mean, they're athletic, they're hungry, they can play defense, they have starting pitching. They proved it last year that they can handle anything with any of those guys in that division. I actually think they're better than last year. And then let's not even mention that Jackson Holliday might be knocking on the door pretty soon, #1 prospect in baseball.
Okay,
That's what I got.
I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit here. So you mentioned the future of the Orioles is really bright, right? So if you have them winning this year, in the next 5 years, how many AL East titles will they win?
Well, the problem there is when guys get expensive, can the Orioles hold on to them? You know, and there's no worry there with guys like Gunnar Henderson and, you know, Jackson Holliday. But what happens with Corbin Burns?
Okay.
You know, that rotation without Corbin Burns and maybe without some other guys looks very different. But talent-wise, if they can hold that team together, 3 out of 5. It's totally doable.
Yeah, I love it.
I really think they can.
All right, it's going to be interesting and a lot of fun in Baltimore in years to come. Time for the National League, Dan.
Well, we're going to go out west. I'm going to be Captain Obvious. I don't see how the Dodgers don't win the West. They just have better players at every position than everybody else. Now, does that translate that they're going to win the World Series? Look what happened last year. The Diamondbacks knocked them off. But you look at the top of that order, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and this guy, $700 million for Ohtani. Yamamoto, right now, he had a rough outing in his first one. Tyler Glasnow, upstage. He's playing in a big market right now. They just have better players at every position than everybody in the West. Does that mean they're going to the World Series? No, but they're winning the West.
Okay, let's go to the Central because that's one that's kind of up for grabs for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little off base here. I'm going to go with the Big Blue Train, the Cubs. I'm buying.
Big Blue Train?
Yeah, it's back.
Jump on it.
Get on board. I thought bringing Cody Bellinger back was a difference. Not only was it a difference, he was so good last year, but it seemed like, Taylor, most of the spring training, once it got started, you could almost sense that not only the fans, but the Cub players were like, is this guy going to come back? And it just seemed like when he came back, there's a calm, and here he is. Like, I mean, there are just so many things to like about the Cubs right now. Justin Steele took a step in the right direction, was in the Cy Young Award mix till the last couple of weeks this season. He'll be better this year. I like the offense. I love Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson. They're going to win the Central.
And I think the bullpen is much deeper than they were a year ago.
Yes.
You could argue relatively the team is the same, but a lot more bullpen depth, which will help down the stretch for that team. All right, now we got to go to the East because I think in both the NL and the AL, this one's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm going all in on the Philadelphia Phillies. They came so close. I really thought that 2023 2023 was their year. My opinion, bold statement, they have the best starting pitcher in the game of baseball right now in Zach Wheeler. Last year down the stretch, Ranger Suarez, big game pitcher. They signed Aaron Nola back, Sir Anthony Dominguez and Alvarez at the back end of that bullpen. This team can score runs. Bryce Harper, to me, he's my NL MVP. Trey Turner off to a slow start, picked it up. Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, a lot of different ways to beat you. They play in a very intimidating ballpark. I think they got a taste of it last year. I think there's some unfinished business. Love the rotation. If Alvarez and Sir Anthony Dominguez can get outs in the 8th and 9th, look out, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, and it's hard to pick against the Atlanta Braves, but it's hard to also argue the points you're making there. So a lot of fun as this season is just 3 days underway.